Hi everyone, welcome back, and wanted to give a huge thank you to the 20 people that subscribed to this channel. You guys are amazing and I really appreciate it. I wanted to introduce you to this little beauty here, Violet. I originally found Violet on a Craigslist ad in December 2023. I was so hesitant to reach out to the owner of this tortoise because she looked so bad. And honestly, it was one of the best decisions. So today I want to just do a simple little check that I do on all of my tortoises at least once a week. With little babies, it's an every other day process, but it's about time for Violet's, and I figured I would show you guys what I do on a regular basis. So we're going to start out by placing Violet on this measuring mat. I have no clue what it's called, but I love using it. I saw Leah over at Our Leopard Tortoises using one and thought it was brilliant, so immediately went out and bought one. They're about $12-ish on Amazon. I'll leave a link below. So Violet here is measuring in at 6.5 inches in length and 4.5 inches in width. When Violet first came to live with us, I measured her and she was exactly 6 inches and also 4.5 inches in width. So she has grown slightly, but honestly, she hasn't grown enough in my opinion. It would have been great to see her have grown 3/4 of an inch. That would have been spot on for me. And I'll explain to you in a second why I was expecting such a bigger jump in length. So sorry, the sun is blasting here and you can't really see everything, but when I do put Violet on the scale, she does weigh in exactly at 638 grams. So here's one reason why I think she should be a little bit bigger than she is right now. When we picked her up at the beginning of March, she was 567 grams. Now she is 638. But exactly a month ago, she made it up to 647, which is 10 grams bigger than where she is now. And I didn't document it, but I should have. But what happened is that she actually fell under 600 grams at the end of the month of April. So extreme nerd alert coming in. I'm entering everything into this grid so that I can track and see how much she actually should be weighing in comparison to her length and width now. Take it or leave it, but this is from Susan Donahue's tortoise scale perspective. Over here, you have your centimeters in length, right? And if you don't know your centimeters in length, obviously you can just quickly go to Google, convert it, then you have it. So Violet is 16.5 centimeters. She is 638 grams. Her target weight should be 857 grams. So that's why I think Violet should be a lot bigger for her, denser for her size, and probably have grown a little bit. So from here, we see that she does not have a 1-to-1 ratio, and she's actually significantly underweight. And that means that she was actually doing better a month ago than she is right now. One thing that I attribute to this drop in weight loss is our weather. In Southern California, we dropped below the 60s for nearly a week, and Violet didn't eat. She didn't come out of her heated house. She just kind of stayed in there the entire time. So I think that played a large role, and during that process, all of the tortoises lost some weight. So now I wanted to show you guys a few things I've observed looking at Violet. These 2 dots here, typically found in the South African locality. And if you look at Violet's other scoots, you see 1, 1, 1, and sometimes no dots on her scoot. So that makes me think that she might be a hybrid, or more of a hybrid than the traditional Babcocky tortoises that are sold here in the US. She also has 4 scoots on one side and 5 scoots on the other. When we went to the vet, obviously, that was the first thing that our veterinarian noticed. And he also had a few unique things to say about this side here, in that she could have done one of 3 things. She could have gotten out of her enclosure and fallen behind something, getting trapped, and during that time period where her shell is very soft, she could have been bound around something that she couldn't get away from. Or she had repeated trauma to one section. Last scenario is that maybe while hatching, the humidity was very low and her shell actually got fused to the side of her eggshell as she was hatching. At any rate, when we picked her up, she definitely was not in good health. She had a respiratory infection. Clearly, she had metabolic bone disease. Her shell is completely soft, which is really unfortunate. Right here where my finger is. And it's unfortunate that a breeder could be capable of neglecting one of their offspring. Also, we noticed that Violet didn't really walk very well. She actually didn't walk at all. Violet used to just kind of army crawl, and so her back legs were essentially not even being used. So every day I try to put her in a spot where I know she doesn't want to be to force her to walk, kind of like physical therapy. I would also say that out of all of our tortoises, I don't know if it's because she can't move and she gets used to a lot of human interaction, having to like pick her up and move her places, but she gives no Fs. Violet does not care if you pick her up. She never tucks into her shell. She is very happy and content. She loves to be pet. My kids love her. She is kind of just like an old battle axe that is not going anywhere. I also noticed here on her plastron that she has the black dots, and that is also more synonymous with the South African variant of leopard tortoises. And just before I wrap this video up, we did have a fecal sample done on Violet and no parasites were found, which is incredibly awesome. But she did have to take this medication via injection that I had to do. I felt like I was my own little Dr. Dolittle, giving this tortoise an injection of some antibiotic every 3 days for 30 days. And then at our recheck, that little bobbing that you see, our vet said that could possibly be still part of the respiratory infection. So we did another 30 days. And here we are 60 days later. I don't think that bob is a part of a respiratory infection. I have not noticed a discharge. I haven't noticed any heavy breathing. I think that homegirl just might have a few hiccups every now and again, but I don't associate that with any respiratory infection. And if we do, we will go back to the vet. One thing too, with the respiratory infection, our vet did stress, just because they have a discharge does not mean that it is a respiratory infection, and it could just be bad husbandry, which is most likely what it was in Violet's case. So we're doing everything that we can for her now. I don't think that Violet is nearly as severe as Bubbles. I think that Violet will definitely go on to reproduce regardless of her very soft shell. She is growing, so that's a plus. We just need to get some weight on her. That's why I throw down that Missouri, because homegirl needs to get fat for this summer. And outside of that, I am so happy with this tortoise. I can't wait to see how she's going to grow and how she's going to develop. She looks very happy, and I think that we managed to step in at just the right time to give her exactly what she needed. Oh, really quick, here, look at Violet walking. So it is getting better. And I just want to say I don't dislike Violet's breeder. We don't know what's going on as people in someone else's lives. So I don't want to judge this person for something that slipped under their watch. Violet is in a great spot now, and we are so happy to have her in our lives. Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you again soon. Peace out.